Good morning and welcome to Wayne's World of Pharmacy. Today I'd like to discuss the topic of cholesterol, and I know this has been extensively covered by many of my colleagues, but the direction that I'd like to take you on today is not about high cholesterol and the treatment thereof, because I think we all realize that if you have too much cholesterol in your blood, you have a serious chance of picking up a coronary heart disease by plaque building up in the arteries and blocking the blood flow back to the heart. What I'd like to discuss with you today is what cholesterol actually is and what its function is in the body. In other words, the good side, not the demonized side of cholesterol. So what happens is once you eat a meal and you've got your lipids in your stomach that are being digested, which can be from plant-based or from animal-based, once the digestion process continues and the juices then start entering into the little pipe just beneath the stomach, which is the duodenum, that's when the body's magic starts to kick into action. The gallbladder releases bile salts. The bile salts then go down the biliary duct, join up with the pancreatic duct, and they empty out into the duodenum. And this is where the fats are converted via an acetate reaction, and your cholesterol is formed. Now, cholesterol is your first basic design of a steroid, which is the first building block of a bunch of your hormones, especially your sex hormones. So from the cholesterol, there's another coenzyme reaction which converts the cholesterol into pregnenolone. The pregnenolone then gets converted into progesterone down a chain into aldosterone, and then you get your testosterone and your estrogen. That is just a super oversimplified explanation of why you have your cholesterol in your blood in the first place. When you've got too much cholesterol, clearly you need to consult your doctor and get put onto some medicine. For men, it's fairly straightforward. You land up with your androgen in your blood, and you land up then with your androgen being converted into a very small amount of estrogen and a much larger amount of testosterone, which gives us our facial hair, male pattern baldness, hairy legs and hairy arms. For the ladies, on the other hand, this is a lot more complex. And I'll be putting up two or three charts just to help you understand this better, because it is rather complex. I'm trying to oversimplify this because the target audience is the average person in the street with limited medical knowledge. I'm not out here to try and preach to the converted, so please understand that I am oversimplifying this, and by putting the charts in, you will better understand the process that the cholesterol cholesterol steroid follows in order to get these correct amount and balances of hormones within your body. For the ladies, I'll put a chart up because you have obviously a few phases in your 28-day cycle. You have the luteal phase and the follicular phase. They are both rather complex, and I think it's going to be a much better explanation if I just do a voiceover when you actually are looking at the chart together with me. There are two other hormones that are also produced from cholesterol. The one is aldosterone, which works through the kidney in controlling your salt levels. And then the other one is cortisone, which is also the same steroid structure, which acts as our body's own anti-inflammatory above and other benefits. As I say, I'm oversimplifying this, and I just wanted you to understand that cholesterol shouldn't be totally demonized if you have the correct amount in your blood. What I would like to mention, though, and this is probably going to answer a couple of questions when you are put onto some anti-cholesterol medicines. The most common one used nowadays is statins. There are a few others. I'll just mention them briefly. You've got Questrain powder, which contains cholestyramine. And then you also have the fibrates. In South Africa, we have bezafibrate, which is the most common fibrate that we use. On the statin side, I'm going to use the international names, simvastatin, which is Zocor, and then you get pravastatin, which is Prava. You get Lipitor, which is atorvastatin, and then Crestor is probably one of the most common ones used in South Africa today, which is rosuvastatin. I'm just going to mention two of the major side effects that these drugs have the ability to cause on our bodies when we start taking them. And the first one is going to be a decrease in your libido levels, your sex desire levels. And once you've looked at this chart and you see what cholesterol actually forms your testosterone, you are going to probably have a slight decrease in the manipulation of the cholesterol part of the whole cycle here, reducing your amount of testosterone and estrogen in women, which can ultimately lead to a loss of libido. If this does become a serious problem, it's better that you consult with your doctor, possibly to change the regimen that you're on, but please don't do it yourself. The other major side effect that is often associated with the statins is myalgia, which is a generalized body pains in the muscles. I've noticed over the years that this can be a transient side effect. In other words, it won't stay there forever, but if it does become too unbearable to accept, consult with your doctor and let him see if he can put you onto a different statin or a different regimen that's going to help you with that. Then the last item that I'd like to mention, I pulled off an article off the web, because in South Africa we have what's known as familial hypercholesterolemia, which is a genetic mutation within the body, and we are one of the highest in the world. If you want to see if your country is in a high-risk zone, I would suggest that you download it. I'll also put a shot of this as a plate in the program. But basically, this type of high cholesterol is extremely dangerous. I was unfortunate enough to have a patient of 18 months die from ischemic heart disease, blocked coronary heart arteries. And you know, for a baby to die at 18 months from a heart attack is not a pleasant thing to handle for the parents, and I also was completely shocked at that stage in my career. I didn't even know that it existed. But now that I'm fully aware of it, in South Africa we've got approximately 62,000 existing cases, and they say that we get approximately an extra 1,100 that adds to that pool per year. So it is definitely a real threat within South Africa and possibly other countries that, as I said, please research it. I have got an article on the map that where the countries are the highest, where the highest affliction is amongst us, what we call FH, familial hypercholesterolemia. And please, if you are interested in that, please do a little research on that, because if you get married to as a couple and one of you has that faulty gene, you're going to pass it on to your children. So get yourself tested, go and do a little bit of research about that if you're newly married. And I think that basically wraps up the cholesterol program that I'd like to have spoken about. I hope you found some of this interesting on what cholesterol actually does, and I look forward to seeing you in the next cast. God bless. Bye.